Mox just issued an open challenge for All Out. I'll bet we'll get a name before the show's done. Yeah. All right. Well, and that's a good way to start this segment. With a little AEW spoiler.
Yeah, because, well, when we were recording last week, we had no idea what was going to happen. And last week, that was the big... Everybody was shocked that Mox went over on Punk pretty clean and
fast.
Well, yeah, I guess it was clean in a sense where he literally just beat the crap out of him. Those elbows were numerous. They were definitely working snug, but it wasn't a shoot. And this is just my professional opinion. If you ever want to see if you want to elbow somebody for a shoot, you're elbowing them with the point, not with the back. So but I don't want to take away from is it real or is it Memorex, because the real part of it is it's a fantastic storyline. It's so good that nobody saw this coming, and then he went in there and just manhandled him, and then cut that promo afterwards saying, "Oh, was that not supposed to happen? Oh, did you not expect that?" Talk about putting Mox right back in the game with a bullet. I thought it was great.
I mean, AEW is solid, and that's why, again, so much heat right now behind the scenes, or at least alleged heat, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's hard to... you don't see it on screen in the show. I don't think the show is suffering, despite what, whatever. AEW's always had its critics, and that's not going to change. There's folks who don't like it. But I think the show is still solid and entertaining and enjoyable. They have issues, but, all wrestling promotions have issues.
Yeah, no, they're still getting ratings, and I think they're going to... I don't think...
What's up, Victor Bravo?
Yeah, Victor, what's up, man? How's it going? But I don't think by any stretch that Discovery is going to not spend money on pro wrestling. There's just too much. It's too net. This isn't 1999 where you're like, well, we're going to turn our station into a genre station. We're in the middle of the content wars, man. Everybody needs content, and there's no way with Tony Khan, with the roster he has and the amount of hours that he can put up there and the amount of hours he could even go beyond that show is in any danger of being canceled. And at the same time, now that Triple H has proven that he's got the pencil solid in his hand and he's booking some solid shit. And we got 2 premium live events, pay-per-views coming up this weekend, back to back. Man, it's going to be good. And they're going to be trying to one-up each other.
Good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, this is because this is honestly what he needed, because it felt like for a while that AEW was about to start running away with it, right? That it's just like WWE people are tuning in to because of a habit, and AEW is what they were having fun. Like I saw a tweet that's like, "Hey, look, wrestling fans are having fun. Isn't that a unique idea?" So I don't know. I'm excited for this weekend, but let's go over what's coming up first. I know we jumped.
Tell me, do you have the card there?
Yeah, I got the card.
For All Out?
Yeah. Well, let's do... You want to do... All right, we'll do All Out first since I got it pulled up. So we got the AEW World Trios Championship Tournament Finals. This was a title that we were asking for a long time. I actually would have preferred them not to have that All-Atlantic title, and that they would have just did the Trios title, because they didn't really do anything with that.
And it's a nice belt.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking belt. I don't think they needed that one.
But the bastard Pac, he's part of the Death Triangle.
Yeah.
So he's not really running solo, and every time he if he's fighting like the House of Black, they're all about, it's gang warfare, which is fun in pro wrestling, right? That's the NWO DX. That was always good. So I have no idea. Do you have any idea who you think they're going to put this on? They brought Kenny Omega back. Is the OG Elite, the Bucks and Omega, going to get this Trios belt? But then they got the House of Black, they got Death Triangle, they got Best Friends. I feel like it's going to be one of those 4.
For my money...
Oh, okay. So JJ did say that Pac is out there defending the belt in other promotions. Now, that's cool. That I like.
Yeah, if it's going to be a rogue belt that he
like
can take to other promotions, I think that's great. I think they did a little bit of a... that's a fair critique of AEW. They added too many belts there in the last few months. Too fast.
Well, they got a lot of guys, and they have all those Ring of Honor. But I would have been fine if you added those belts if they would have been on a different show.
Yeah,
not on the same show.
I don't know what's happened. I thought we were fast-tracked into a new Ring of Honor show. I thought that was definitely where this was headed, or maybe Rampage was gonna become Rampage of Honor. I don't know.
Oh man,
but
yeah.
like
They need to.
I thought that's where that was headed, but it seems to just hit a stall.
Yeah, I hope that's what they do. And JJ, my friend Eric just texted me on that open challenge. He buried Punk. Is there a possibility that CM Punk is done? Do you think that's possible? Was Punk getting any heat?
I don't.
In the locker room. I don't know.
I mean, that's the rumor. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. That's hard to imagine. I feel like we would know.
Yeah, I feel so. I don't know. I'll look for it. But let's keep running down the card because we got All Out. We got the trios, the finals. Then we have
Best Friends is my pick.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's where we're going. Best. I would like to see that. That kind of gives Orange the belt, right? Wasn't he one of the pillars? It gives him his belt.
He was not one of the pillars, but he was definitely one of the early adopters.
He was,
and just one of the guys that would really benefit from a belt because. You never would have expected him to be over the way he was.
Yeah.
And I think he's all... I mean, I just think Orange Cassidy probably has an expiration date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just give him the belt, let him have a run with the trios. I think it'd be awesome.
I think he would have a longer run if they keep him with Best Friends. I like him as the leader of the group, his friend group. He's kind of like the cool friend, right? He's not the dooley in T-Birds. He's Kaneki.
He is Kaneki, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd rather see him in Best Friends. So that's who I'm pulling for. Bucks and Don't Need It. House of Black. I don't know. They haven't really sold. I don't know what your feelings are on them yet. I want to like them more.
I want to like them more too.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really great at first, and they've also kind of stalled.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Cass just showed up.
Oh, looking really jacked, stoked. Oh, Big Cass is all elite. I hope so. Yeah, because I don't know. Would he bring Enzo too? Enzo was his mouthpiece.
If they brought Enzo to All Out, you're going to see the buy rate spike like you wouldn't believe. Enzo's jacked now. Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah. You see him in his boxing videos
Oh,
too?
my God.
Yeah, he's like legit. Like, I think he got to the point where people were probably might be trolling him, and now he's like, I better be ready to fight if I have to fight. But now I feel like he can probably fight. So yeah, that'll be good.
See, that's what I'm telling. I love AEW's unpredictability, and they have this flexibility to bring in indie folks and freelancers and whoever is out there and just really surprise us. Triple H is doing a great job over there. I think things are improving, but AEW just has one bit of leverage that WWE will never have, is just that unpredictability.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they definitely have a few surprises. Although I think WWE has a little bit more surprises up their sleeve coming. I don't think Triple H is showing them all now. But, yeah, I feel like AEW can be a lot more nimble with their surprises. So that's what I hope it is. All right, so next match. This one is getting a lot of steam as well. And maybe this is a time to play that interview. I don't know how long it is. It might be a middle. We have the finals. Well, it's not the finals. It's the interim women's world. It's going to be a fatal four-way dance.
Who do I have here?
Oh, you got it? Hello! All right, yeah, let's pull it up and see. This was on a local show here in Texas.
La Mera Mera, the AEW World Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. That's who I have here. She's also the creator of Mission Pro Wrestling, which
Mission Pro
we're
in the
talking about
house
in this story. And I just want Thunder Rosa to kind of take it over from here. Talk about the creation of Mission Pro Wrestling and why you coined it.
It was very important for us women to do something different in the last, decades. 3, 4. A lot of us have faced sexual harassment, and we have not been able to speak out about it. And 2 years ago, there was a humongous movement.
There's Mission Pro over at the Salvation Army.
That it was time to create something that was for women, and it was run by women, so women could feel safe and feel a place in where they can be represented, not only as females, but also as
what is this from?
Ethnicity, their age,
I don't know what
we
news.
want to represent everyone.
I think it was just for the local San Antonio to plug the local show
men.
there.
What's it like to see those women take advantage of that opportunity and
Was
just
that the
show
show we
that,
sponsored,
hey,
or
we
is that a
belong
recent
here.
one?
We belong here with these men.
I
Just
mean,
like,
it
okay,
I
it
think
looks
that-
a little new.
awesome. I
That's
can
the
tell you
last
as
one.
a
Maddie
manager,
Rinkowski.
Oh, yep.
Here in San Antonio and other places. It's like the stakes are higher because we always have to show that we are athletes and we should be respected and we should be given the time to show our craft. And I think everyone who has been in that position has gone above and beyond to represent that.
What you
Yeah.
got coming up? I know there's a show coming up on the 17th of September. Talk about that.
Yeah, we have Welcome to the Jungle September 17, again at the Salvation Army on the south side of San Antonio. It is our anniversary show. It's our 3-year anniversary. And
Really?
I am
3 years?
preparing a really strong statement.
3-year
really
anniversary of
strong,
Mission Pro?
Yeah.
You know, we say, como decimos en wrestling, a promo about how proud I am for the last 3 years that we've been working as probably one of the very, very few women's shows in the country and probably in the world too.
You hear that? So y'all better be there. Lisette, you better be there because you're a Latina. You're representing for the journalists out there the way Thunder Rosa is representing for the wrestlers. So y'all better be there.
Represent. So,
Local news, always a delight.
yeah, it's always fun.
So yeah, Thunder Rosa getting a lot of heat lately.
She's getting
in
a
the
lot
dirt
of
sheets.
Before we get even to the heat, I got to just give, it just hit me just watching her there. So we know when she first came in, she said less.
Who would you if I had?
Sorry.
She said less, right? And
Yeah.
she got over because it was kind of like the Ultimate Warrior effect, where he didn't say anything. He just let his actions do the talking. And she had this very,
She had a bit of the Ultimate Warrior vibe.
yeah,
for
very,
sure.
like a very,
But she could wrestle.
she can wrestle, very violent, a good in a pro wrestling way. She just did her stuff. And I think what happened is you gave her the mic, and I don't know if her promo skills were up for what she was doing, where I'd rather see what she just did right here on that local channel where you see the real Thunder Rosa than the fired up Thunder Rosa, because I think that's a critique for all professional wrestlers cutting promos. If you got the stick, not everybody has to be yelling, screaming, making fun of the whole thing of. There used to be something that we were taught that never bury your opponent too much, or else who are you beating?
Yeah.
You got to put your opponent over so it looks like you're beating somebody worth beating, and then you get yourself over. Where I feel like a lot of the interviews now become a little bit more weird and catty, like they're trying to make it feel like it's a shoot, but it is a work. And then I don't necessarily like when they put a lot of the wrestlers on the spot. Like, remember when they were calling her sandbags and she came out and she handed her the sandbags? Because for the audience, for the general audience, are they going to get that? So then at that point, who are you performing for? Are you performing for the people in the back? Are you performing for the fans that are, read the dirt sheets? Or are you performing for the audience? And
Right.
you don't want to. It's fine that you're going to have a sellout at the monitor, but I feel like when you take those shots that not everybody gets, it doesn't always get over. Now in AEW, it gets over more than it does in WWE because there's
Yeah.
a lot more insiders. So like when Punk did that to Adam Page, more people got it, and it kind of resonated through the crowd. Where that probably would have been, a fart in a bubble bath in WWE. It would have just happened. And what was that? And then it's over. So I'd rather see Thunder Rosa be real Thunder Rosa. Just go out there like she's talking right now. Really calm. That feels like more of a shoot than the screaming.
Yeah.
With the exception of, and we'll get into this later, and Mike will talk about this, the exception of Riddle and Seth, what they're doing right now, which is on a whole different level. But anyway, that was my rant, but I'm going to shoot it back to you. And let's talk about what you heard about her getting heat in the locker room.
Well, I mean, it's all over the internet, right? I mean, there's a lot of stories out there that I don't even really want to restate or recirculate here.
Yeah.
You can go Google them if you want to see what's going on, or what people are saying. I don't know. I think that she's very successful really fast. You know what I mean? I think maybe people could be resentful of that. That could rub people the wrong way. you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
She's another one that's just like, we talked about this in Hollywood, the whole that it takes you 10 years, 20 years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, she did it in 7.
yeah. And that's still, she's still, I mean, and she did it in Lucha Underground, which was great TV, but apparently that was a really, really rough place to work
Yeah.
in the sense where you had to get that lawsuits, just to get out of your contract. So I don't know, but, and here's another interesting fact. Remember Vince used to feed into it, like when Brett and Sean used to be buddies, when it was, wait, you're from the Hart Foundation, I'm from the Rockers, we're going to be buddies. But then when they started getting their singles runs and there was a little bit of professional jealousy, Vince didn't say, hey, guys, cut the shit. It's a work, right? We're going to make money. No, he fed into that because he kind of knows that sometimes does translate into good matches in the ring. If two guys if they have heat with each other, but they respect their work, you can still have great matches. And Shawn Michaels is a perfect example. How many people did he have heat with that he had fantastic matches with? And it looks like Thunder has legit heat with Jamie and Britt.
I mean, that's the rumor.
And that was a really good match.
I
Their
believe
matches have been
the
good.
Brit thing. They've had some awkward exchanges online.
Yeah, they really have.
So I mean, I buy it. And like I said, I think when you're really driven, and everybody, I mean, more than anyone, right? Like, what are the egos like in the back?
They're rough, man.
I mean, you got to think you're the best to be the best. You have to
have
believe
to.
you're the best
Right.
to be the best, and you're in a room of people who all think they're the best.
Yeah.
How does that go?
Yeah. And back in the day, a lot of the vets, they looked at the title as a pacifier for the babies who had egos. But that's not necessarily the case. But that's how they looked at it, right? And I don't think that I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you can find a way to get over and be over without having the title. But now we're talking about guys that kind of come up with this business for so long, and you dream, the Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream has come true. You kind of want to, that's kind of a status symbol for yourself to show that you had made it. So that's when you get to that stage and you have those egos, they're just like, they're fighting for their dreams. So I don't know. But is it possible? Because what's Bryan Danielson's reputation here in AEW versus WWE? Have you heard anything?
I have not.
That's the one I was really curious about, right?
He comes off as a shooter, though.
He does, and he didn't in WWE, did he?
No, I think early, even when he was doing that first program with Eddie Kingston, and he shot on Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston did the whole, he did his whole, mental health promo.
Yeah.
It was like, I think he came off as I think he comes off as a bit of a diva, but not like a diva, but like what do you call it?
Well, he's definitely
social conscious diva.
Yeah, he's definitely a wrestling purist, and he's gonna look, and he's gonna respect you more if you're into that. Remember when he had his heel run? I think that is one of the most underrated heel runs in wrestling history, with Daniel Bryan, champion of the planet, not world champion of defending the planet. He had the hemp belt. He was all green, and he's better than you because he's trying to save the planet. I thought that was great. And maybe there's a part of him that really is like that he will kind of look down on you. He's like, oh, you're a sports entertainer. You're not a wrestler. But look at all the magic that him and Miz made, sports entertainer versus pro wrestler. So I don't know if but I was curious because I feel like he should be a locker room leader. They could have put the interim belt on him, and I'd be curious why that decision was made not to put it on him.
JJ said he's got a reputation for being a bully.
Really?
Yeah.
In the ring?
In the ring, in the back, I'm not sure.
Really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely the most experienced guy there, right?
Yeah.
He definitely, you could tell he takes the business seriously. He takes wrestling seriously.
Yeah,
you know?
he don't know. It's
And
there's no
he
sports.
He came to AEW so he could wrestle, right? He had done the sports entertainer thing for 10 years at that point, or longer.
Yeah.
He wanted to wrestle and get hurt and get and bleed. He wanted to bleed again.
He did. He's just like, I mean, think of the risks he takes on his neck. He still does those top rope missile drop kicks where you land flat on your back instead of your side. And everybody who's done the top rope missile drop kick and the diving headbutt have all had damage eventually done to their neck. So when he does that, I still wince. Yeah, JJ said in the back, but he's addressed in an interview, and it sounds like he takes things very seriously, so it comes out very seriously, so it comes off that way. So, and I think he does. So I was curious why he didn't get that run of the belt, because remember he had the baby face pop when he showed up in AEW, but he didn't do the yes chant, so it was just like it kind of simmered. But then he started telling it like it is with the fans, and they started booing them. It's like, I don't care, boo me. I'm gonna just tell it like it is. So maybe he does have that vibe. But I don't know how I got on that tangent. Oh, we were talking about
we're talking about wrestling, bro.
But we're talking about real versus worked. I'd like to see how. Just tell them what you really want to do. Michael Hayes told me that in a promo once. Just like, hey, he said, hey, Rico, you don't have to scream. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, no, just tell him what you're going to do. Tell him what you're feeling. He's one of, again, and that's why I think he's one of the best underrated producers in the business, because he listens to everything. You're a director, the little things matter as much as the big things.
Yeah.
And he just took the time, you don't have to yell. Just tell him what you're going to do.
What were you yelling about, bro?
I was yelling at Chaz about what I was going to do with him, and I called him a spaz. But yeah, that was in the Sportatorium when I had a couple of times with the mic. But again, it's just important to I learned at that point, you got to be a little bit a more authentic, organic version of yourself, and just amp it up a little bit when you're in the ring. But don't scream just to scream, to just say, we're in a fight. I don't like you, so I'm going to scream. Oh, I'm going to scream back. It shows through, and I feel like it happened on, and you can tell probably in the Mission Pro show is a perfect example, right? A lot of those girls are just getting started, and they're going to be and a lot of them are going to have great careers. Congratulations to Kylan King. She's getting a nice run in AEW now. Yeah. But when they grab that stick, doesn't it always feel just a pinch awkward?
Well, would you say that is a skill? When you're getting into the business, the profession, would you say that the physical portion of it is what you learn first and that the promo stuff comes later? Because 100%. I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching WWE and I saw Bayley was back. So I had to watch and see what Bayley's doing. Bayley is so great on the mic now.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she first came out and, she had her good girl gimmick and she was super over with her gimmick, but she didn't really do a lot on the mic.
No.
And then when she was on the mic, it was awkward.
Yeah, that's 100%. No, you're absolutely
Even
right.
though I feel like she was the hottest gimmick in NXT for a while.
She was.
When that music would come on, it would go nuts. It was at that one show we went to.
Oh, yeah.
She was so over, but she'd get on the mic and it just felt strange. It was awkward. But now she's amazing on the mic.
Yeah, and it took a lot, and she's hurt, so she's still hurt.
Yeah.
She's not ready to wrestle yet. But they're utilizing her but you're absolutely right. You get into wrestling because you want to be a wrestler, but you realize if you want to stay in wrestling, you have to grab a microphone and basically convince people to come watch you perform. It doesn't matter if you're the best wrestler in the world. We've seen it time and time again. More people are on their feet if Eddie Kingston puts somebody in a headlock and he starts talking shit, people will be on their feet versus somebody who's doing spot. Other than AEW, it really doesn't register because it's happening so fast. It's like, what's the frame rate on those movies? Like, remember in The Hobbit when they upped the
40,
frame
48?
rate? Yeah, when they upped the frame rate, you're like, what did my brain just witness? I feel like that happens a lot. And I'm not saying there's not a spot for it. I think there's a spot for all of it. But if you want to be the guy that they're going to be talking about 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, you got to work the stick more than you got to work your bumps. Mick Foley even was a perfect example of that. He got so over with his sick bumps, and he had a cult following, but he didn't become that world champion material until he did those backstage vignettes with Jim Ross, and then Vince McMahon said, "That's good shit, pal." And then he started like talking organically and for real, but he was already doing that in ECW. If you watched it, like he was the guy, he cut the best promo, because talking about Mikey Whipwreck and talking about like, man, it sucked driving you on the Jersey Turnpike and I got to go here in both Long Island, and you were so inconsiderate because you would just pull over into the rest stop instead of getting a healthy sandwich at Roy Rogers, you'd get a bag of Doritos. Why the Doritos, Mikey? You know I have an eating disorder. And you're like, what the hell did I just watch?
What was that?
Yeah, that was an ECW. That was some of his early promos. That was after he left WCW, but before he went to WWE. So that was the same. He basically did the same thing that Steve Austin did. That the characters that we knew to grow and love in WWE started in ECW, like versions of that. And I think I've insulted him by accident about that once, and I didn't mean it to come off that way. Mm-hmm. But he was in the locker room, and this was probably 94, 90. So he just came over, and I think he was just debuting as Mankind. And I just went up to him and I just told him, I was like, I got MSG at my house in Long Island, and your promos, I didn't call them promos, like those interviews you do are some of the best interviews I've ever heard in wrestling. And he looked at me and he's like, one time I went up to Ted DiBiase, who was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and said, I loved watching you as $1 Million Man kicking kids out of the pool in the vignettes. And he started laughing. And then then I started laughing. I was like, wait, was that his way of saying, I can't believe you're telling me that you preferred my interviews over wrestling, which that's not what I was saying, but I don't know. Did it feel like maybe that's what he was saying? Because that was his response. And I was like, okay. And I'll never forget, his pants were falling down, but he had a Mary Higgins Clark book in the back of his pocket, in his back pocket. Like Fonzie had a comb, Mick Foley had a Mary Higgins Clark book in his back pocket. I don't remember. I just remember the author because I recognized the font. I was like, Mary Higgins Clark. I was like, when I remember going home, I was like, I can't believe that Cactus Jackson was reading Mary Higgins Clark. Oh man, sorry. I know we went totally off of that. So match number 3 at AEW All Out this weekend, yes, is going to be a World Tag Team Championship match between Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. And here it is. I know a lot of people are already realizing this. You need to put the belt on the Acclaimed immediately. Don't wait.
The tag team belt.
The tag team belts for Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
They just got it though.
They just got it, but are they getting over?
No, and yes, it would be great for the Acclaim to have those belts.
Acclaim is so over, man. Scissor me, daddy ass, and you see the shirts that are coming out there, and as soon as you hear that, and now they got Billy Gunn with them, I was like, and all his raps are on point. They're so good. They need to
topical,
Do
poignant.
it. Give them the
memorable.
belt. Give them the belt right now. Don't wait.
Damn, that's great. See, it's tough booking, I hate for the belts to really just hop around, but you're probably right.
No, I think they need Acclaim needs that belt. That's the greatest saying in pro wrestling. That is great. And I thought, it's so
Scissor
hard.
me, daddy ass.
It's so hard. I remember being at home trying to figure out, like, wow, we're running out of finger symbols to do for pro wrestling that you can get the fans to do. Like, okay, you got this one. People have already done this one. You have this one. You have this one. You have the click. And then all of a sudden, they're like, they got scissoring going. And I'm like, and they made that a thing. And that's interactive. Can't you see people in elementary school?
What's the scissoring symbol?
But now they stick their fingers out to each other. And I was like, oh, man. They're just doing, they have a look. They have a gimmick. And they're great on the mic. And they each play a part. Right? Road Dogg did his ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. And all Billy Gunn had to say was, suck it. And they have, you have the rapper, what's his name? Max Caster.
Max Caster.
Yeah. And then
Thanks, Casper.
his partner comes out, and then he does the pop for the town, like whatever town they're in, and he calls him out. Oh, and then he's the one that does the. So they each have like a good gimmick. He does the scissor part. Yeah, I'm sorry, Swerve. I don't even know what Swerve in Our Glory is even supposed to be. I got to be quite honest. I don't even know what that means.
It's the byproduct of the too much talent.
Yeah.
Too many folks on the roster right now. Not enough spots.
Yeah. I agree.
Like you said, sometimes there's just not enough spots. That's like something Forrest Gump would say.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not, obviously those guys are super talented, but are you like, if Swerve, what is it? Swerve in Our Glory comes on TV, are you like, oh, are you going up and putting it louder?
No.
When I hear,
honestly, that name doesn't even make that much sense.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry, it just kind of doesn't.
No, it doesn't work
It's
for me
not,
either.
It's an action line. It's
Yeah.
a call to action. It's not the name of a group.
Of a team, yeah. No, I agree, man.
Swerve in Our Glory and go to whatever.com and roll in a free trial. Yeah.
That is a .com name. But I can tell you, as soon as I hear, "Wah, wah," I run up to the TV and I put it louder so I can hear, yo, listen. It's so good. Everything about them. They're the hottest tag team in AEW right now. If you're talking about somebody who's going to grab your eyeballs. Obviously, FTR is like the best in the world as far as like the respected wrestlers that have nothing but gold, and they should be the pinnacle. I do agree with that. But I'm talking about just somebody who's going to put butts in seats and that you're going to take the time to make a sign. Are you going to make a sign for Swerve in Our Glory, or are you going to make a sign that says "Scissor me, daddy ass"? You're going to make
Scissor me, daddy. Which shirt do you want?
Yeah.
You want a shirt that says Swerve in Our Glory? No one's going to kick you out of school for that.
Yeah. Scissor
me, daddy ass will get you suspended.
So I have my fingers crossed, and I'm in a tweet string with Tony Khan right now. He hasn't bit yet, and we're trying to guess on who that person is going to be. And I put a GIF of Enzo, MJF, and Eddie Kingston because I want it to be Eddie, but I want to put in just like give the Acclaim the belt. I don't care if you think they need a little bit. No, just give them the belt. They'll work. They'll figure it out. They're already a hot gimmick. They're the heels that were so cool as heels they became baby faces.
And this is something that Tony Khan has to lean into.
Yeah.
I think another critique of AEW, we're fans, we can critique it.
Yeah.
Give folks the strap when folks want them to have the strap. Like when it's right, do it. Don't wait. I feel like sometimes he waits too long and that person's moment has kind of passed. I felt like that's what happened with Hangman, although he left to go have a baby or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I think when he finally got the title, it was a little past his time. He got it right. CM Punk had already come in. Daniel Bryan came in. Just, yeah.
Yeah, it was timing.
Same thing with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They should have had the tag team straps
earlier
first, like right after the Bucks, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. They were so over right at the beginning.
What about even Darby with the TNT title? For some reason, why did it feel like that was kind of just a blip?
Well, the TNT title never really got over, I think.
Yeah.
I think Cody had it. Cody has been the only legit person to have it. And the thing is, like by the time Miro got it, you would think would get the title over, it wasn't enough. The title seemed beneath him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're finally, he's coming back and they're starting to kind of give him a little bit of push. But yeah, even him who was super over with, Rusev Day. Yeah. Right? That got him over. He hasn't reached those levels yet. And has anybody been able to, besides CM Punk, keep the steam that they had coming in? I could even argue that even Daniel didn't. Like Brian did something, he became something different. Punk transferred into being the top guy and stayed the top guy.
Don't know.
Oh, CM Punk accepted the open challenge after a passionate promo. So, okay. Yeah, so we're going to have a fun pre-show for All Out. I think it's going to be a good show. But But you are 100% right. If you think about it, he can even be argued with Thunder Rosa. I do, and he's in a tough spot because if you want these belts to mean something, you get the belts to mean something by letting people hold it longer.
Right.
But when the Honky Tonk Man had the title for over a year, the IC title, there wasn't as many people ready to take that belt. And the problem is now there's tons of people that are ready to carry these belts and not. So you can't do. I do understand you can't have it jumping back and forth quickly, but you also can't wait as long as you'd like. I mean, although I would say it worked well for Britt Baker because she made that belt mean something, but then it hurt Thunder Rosa and she took longer to give her the belt, and now it felt like after that huge pop of winning the belt, she didn't have. It's very hard to follow up your winning the title of defending the title with something that's just as hot as your journey to get the title. And Thunder never got something hot because it probably honestly should have. What happened to the rematch clause? What happened to the rematch clause? Why did these people never get rematches? Like Jericho even called it out. He's like, for Moxley, he's like, how come I never got my rematch? It used to mean something like when you beat the champ, now you got the belt. Now you got to defend against the person that was just the champ. That means something. And they're taking that away because they're like, okay, you lost the belt, back of the line. What happened? Why didn't Adam Page? Like, where was his rematch? Like, Punk said, okay, I'll give you your rematch right now. And you see how that got people fired up? I mean, you got to have, just when you beat the champ, you can say, okay, lucky punch, any given Sunday, I want my rematch. And then you got to beat them again to show that you really are, that you've elevated. And they haven't done that yet at all. You haven't seen that, right? Moxley got the interim belt. That was the only 2-time champ, right?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done that at all. And now they're at the point where they almost don't have time to do that. They're trying to squeeze so many folks into the show.
Man. But anyway, yeah. Don't wait. Give the belts to the Acclaimed. Next match is going to be Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. This was definitely a nice calling card for, passionate wrestling fans that know who Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns is. The only gripe I have in here is Wardlow is the TNT title holder. Who's he defending the belt against? He's not defending the belt. It's the biggest show of the year, and he's in a 6-man. Why?
That's strange.
Why isn't he defending the belt?
He doesn't even have a feud going, does he?
Well, yeah, the only thing he had was... No, yeah, you're right, because the MJF stuff, again, that he just disappeared after that, and it was over.
Yeah.
Why isn't Swerve in Our Glory and Keith Lee going just like, okay, let's do big man versus big man. Let's see if you can really defend that belt. Why isn't a heel Keith Lee fighting Wardlow?
Yeah.
On the biggest show of the year. Again, just our opinion.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's an odd choice.
Then you got the casino ladder match that's coming up. So Claudio's going to be in this, which I thought was interesting.
Is he kind of lost in the shuffle as well?
He's another one that is
it sucks, man. They're so bloated right now with
so
talent.
much. Like, who would have thought that having too much talent?
Well,
would be a
like I said,
problem?
when they came out, they had like 6 guys, and they were getting a 2-hour show out of that. And you felt it. You were like, oh, I can't wait till they get some more folks. But now it's just way too many.
Mm-hmm.
It's too many, and they don't have enough TV time.
Yeah, that's very difficult to pull off. And I think there's ways. We got some ideas. Maybe we'll talk about it on Sunday. We got some ideas on how we can fix that. It's doable. You got talent. We can fix this. My old man is a television repairman. He's got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
You can't fix this, Cos McCauley.
I can fix it. Next match, to me, and I don't know what that says, this is one of the matches I'm most excited for, is Jericho versus Bryan. And I think as much heat as Jericho gets for whatever, saying that he's overstaying his welcome, whatever, I don't agree with it. I think he's still reinventing himself so many times, and now you're going to get Lionheart Chris Jericho versus American Dragon Bryan Danielson. And if you know anything about wrestling, right, even though it might not be accurate, but he is trained. He was under the Stu Hart dungeon tree. You know, he might. I read a really awesome article on 411 on who was the actual last survivor of the Hart dungeon, and it wasn't Jericho. But that being said, he was part of Stu's training regimen, even if it was just
one of the
Hart
last
brothers.
survivors of the Hart Dungeon.
Yeah, he bills himself as the last survivor of the Hart dungeon. So, but did you watch that promo between Jericho and Bryan?
I didn't see it. See, I'm behind. I'm behind. I
Man,
got to catch
dude.
up, and I even signed up for Sling just to watch.
It was great because he did the same thing that Mox did. He's like, I don't want this sport. I don't want the Wizard. I don't want Le Champion. I want the Lionheart. I want to see you, the guy that was in there grinding. He didn't say ECW, the one that was grinding in Japan and grinding in Mexico. That's the guy I want. But Bryan took a step further. He's just like, what would your hero, Owen Hart, think of what you're doing with sports entertaining?
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
No, I didn't see it. See, and like I said, I try to catch up at the end of the week on Dynamite, and I missed parts of it, but the show is still really good.
Oh man, that's why. And again, what we were talking about, you got to grab a mic and get me to see. And those two grabbed a mic, and now I'm gonna get the show, but I'm looking forward to that match the most.
Not a lot of build on that, but I mean, it's still.
It didn't
great.
need that last promo was almost all they needed. Now,
Well, I
it would
mean,
have been,
AEW is good at doing the 2-week builds. That's some of their best builds have been 2 weeks.
yeah. Let's see. They are super fast, those builds, but like when it feels legit like that, I'm sold. Speaking of doing great stuff on the mic, what about Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy? Christian Cage has been really pushing Jungle Boy's button, and you feel like he's wanting to elevate him by really, really cutting a little bit close to the bone, right? Talking about his dad and, you know, his dead dad and that kind of stuff. Luke Perry, R.I.P.
Can we still get that Christian Cage is a pussy shirt?
I don't know.
Did that go up on the site?
I don't know if it went up on the site or if I think he got in trouble for dropping that word, and then they asked him not to say it.
Did you hear Warner Discovery, who's doing all kinds of great things? They told AEW to tone it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
they told
man.
them to tone the language down.
Corporations, great for America. Sarcasm. Sorry. Don't even get me started on that. But I think Christian Cage this is great. You can tell what he's doing. Now Jungle Boy is at the learning tree of one of the best on the mics, because you know Christian Cage went from a third vampire in the Brood to being one of the best on the mic, and then Christian, when he turned heel and he had his peeps, man, he was so fired up. I feel like we're getting that version of him. He somehow has made turtlenecks heel again, and that is what I'm here for.
I feel like he stepped a little bit into the MJF space when MJF left. He kind of just slid into that spot a little bit.
Yeah, so I love me a heel turtleneck. So I think it'll be that match. Yeah, JJ says it feels like there's a holding pattern for future ROH people. Yeah, I don't know. I think they...
Pull the trigger. Make it happen. What's
Yeah.
going? Well, you know, it's probably, what's his name? What's the Warner Discovery guy?
Oh, Zavloff?
Zavloff. So
Yeah.
maybe we should tag Zavloff.
Yeah, he needs to fix
Tell him
this,
to get it
man.
together and give Ring of Honor a spot.
Yeah. Dang,
What
dude.
would be a good day for Ring of Honor?
You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit old school. Give me a Saturday morning wrestling show again.
I was thinking Saturday night, but yeah.
So I'll take the 505. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but NWA Power is doing that on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
But what about the old 9 a.m. Try to get kids watching wrestling again? I watched wrestling in the mornings on Saturdays before I watched it at night.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Saturday morning return.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Just to get Ring of Honor in there. And I know they're thinking more about ad revenue, but back then they were just like, promoters were like, we got TV. What time are you on? It's like Fridays at 3 a.m. It's like, shit, yeah, we're on TV. But now it's just like it doesn't have the same vibe. But I do think they need to take one of their branded shows and just brand it ROH and be done with it.
Yeah.
Just be done with it. I don't care if it's like, okay, Dark is your is your feeder show. What is Dark Elevation? What is that?
I never got exact one. Well, one of them is a studio show. One of them is a studio show at Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Florida.
Oh, man.
And
Old
then
school
the other
WCW.
one is, the pre-show at the Dynamite shows.
Man.
I want to say Dark is the one that's at the studio.
And it's tough because, look, I'm even for a show. I'm all for a studio show. If you can find a way to make revenue, not worry about fans in the audience, and you just have that old school. Like, have you watched any of the NWA Power shows?
I was watching them at first.
Yeah, they're good.
I haven't followed up on them, but yeah.
That was just, it always made it feel like you were watching the TV show, and then when you were watching the Ronnie Garvin versus Ric Flair in the studio we knew with only 20 people screaming was setting up for a big match at the Omni, and it made it feel bigger. Because like, oh yeah, I remember when this happened. It's kind of like a couple of people crowding around a locker, and then like after school, and then the parking lot, you got a parking lot sellout for that match. It just made it feel special. So do a Saturday morning Memphis style studio show. Maybe studio shows don't work anymore. I don't know. I don't know what kind of numbers NWA is pulling, but have gotten I mean, Billy Corgan is their biggest star, and he's the owner.
It's true,
right?
I mean,
they got solid talent.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of wrestling talent out there.
Yeah,
it's just an abundance of talent. So yeah, we need more shows for them to be on. But I don't know if a studio show. Well, I don't know. Lucha Underground, I thought really worked.
Lucha Underground.
They had sort of a unique studio look.
That felt like a studio, even though it was a bigger audience, but it felt special. You have to have that vibe, right?
It had those stairs. It had those big stairs.
Yeah. The office, like the mysterious,
the back
Dario's
office.
Yeah.
I thought, they did a lot. I don't know if like a straight up 3-camera studio show flies, but the thing is, with technology now, you can do it anywhere. So you could innovate on that somehow.
Yeah.
You could do it outdoors somewhere. You could do it at different locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's potential.
I'm down. But you're right. I think it could just be something that you can innovate on the past. I'm not saying you can reinvent it. Obviously, kayfabe is dead. Thank you, internet. But you're not going to be able to just keep doing the same thing, because now what everybody's used to is feeling old. Like, I was hoping Triple H was already just do different camera angles, different colors, like something, just feel a little bit different. But anyway, again, another tangent. Ring of Honor, get your own show. Sign of the night, just enjoy wrestling. That's a great sign.
That's a great sign. Let's do that as a shirt. Tony Khan.
Yeah, make a
we
shirt. We
came up with it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think JJ said it was out there in the audience, but...
Yeah, but we came up with the idea to put it on a shirt.
Yeah, we're the shirt guys. Hey, you're the shirt guys. All right, and then the last match that's setting up for AEW All Out is Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Did you expect Ricky Starks to get over as much as he... Did you watch his promo yet?
I have not.
Oh, man. You got to watch his promo, man. He cut a passionate promo, and it's the most interested I've ever been in Ricky Starks outside of saying Ricky Starks. It was great. And now it's going to give Powerhouse Hobbs a little bit of the rub because, he got the heel turn. Team Taz is dead. But I don't know, man. It felt passionate. You felt the passion. He felt a little bit like Cody must have texted him that night. It's like, maybe try this. Because Cody's interviews that have so much passion and you just buy into it, and it doesn't matter if it's a work or if it's real or if it's fake or if he's shooting or if he's just just going for it, man. And Ricky Starks isn't. So there's your homework. Watch the Ricky Starks promo and then watch the Bryan versus Chris Jericho promo.
Can I hijack the podcast for just 1 second? Man. I want to do a quick why aren't you watching?
Yeah, do it.
There's a documentary on YouTube. I think it's pretty short. It's like 30 minutes. A local director here made it. I think we've seen his stuff come through. His name's like Ray Zombie or something. And he did a little documentary called Wrestling with Independence. And it's not bad, but the thing is, it's a lot of these guys. You remember wrestling was really big in Austin for a couple years.
Oh yeah, yep.
So he got a lot of interviews with these guys, and it's got Keith Lee, it's got Ricky Starks, it's got, I can't think of all the names, but like you'll recognize everybody, and you see a young Thunder Rosa just in the background of some shots.
Really?
She didn't even get an interview at that point.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, Keith Lee, Ricky Starks, Scorpio Sky, a lot of those folks while they were doing their spots here in Austin. Oh, a young what's his name? Murder Hawk Monster.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he came at it. He was like Big D in Dallas. He was there for a
And
while.
He looks way different in that. You
Yeah.
won't even recognize him.